we should be live now. So we are also live on our YouTube channel. Check us out, link in the bio as well. But yeah, let's give it another chance. We're here talking about Scream and everything that we pretty much have seen from this one poster as well. And this one poster really gave us a lot to think about as well. So I do want to go ahead and talk about that. We are still also trying to fund our movie on Indiegogo, so go check it out if you haven't already. But let's go ahead and get started with this poster right here before we get started on anything else, because I think this poster is an important poster to look at. And the biggest theory out there is Stu still alive in Scream. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Could he be coming back or not? I know a lot of people have been theorizing that since Scream 5, and we've been wondering, will Scream return Stu to us? I think Stu will return to us, but not in the way many of us might think. I think he will definitely return to the Scream franchise, sort of in the same way as we saw Mr. Billy Loomis return as well. And this new poster that we see behind us very much so tells us that there's a lot going on here that we might not have noticed just yet. So we're live on YouTube as well. Link in the bio if you want to go join over there. So we're discussing the poster, we're discussing the theories about Stu returning, and one of the big things is this new poster. Like I said, we see that this new poster, as you can see, has different lines, and each line represents a movie from the Scream franchise from 1 through 5. Of course, 6 is still being worked on, and the poster itself addresses that as well. But what you can tell from this poster is that Stu's the only dot that has a little red in it. Another dot that has a little red in it as well is Kirby Reed's dot, which of course we thought that Kirby had died in Scream 4, but apparently no, she's returning to this new Scream 6, and that's exciting news for everybody. I think Kirby was a fan favorite, and I think many people are excited to see Kirby return in Scream 6. Somebody else that is coming to Scream 6 as well as Samara Weaving, and I think she's going to be an important character as well for the franchise going forward. So one of the characters that had a connection to Stu, however, in Scream 5 was actually Ben Schneider, who was, I believe, one of Stu's relatives. And so he is connected in this poster behind me through Stu. As we can see down below, if you look at the poster, his name is there, and it's connected to the Scream 1 line franchise of the subway station thing here. And so I think that Ben Schneider being introduced in Scream 5 was not just to throw a random character out there. I think when it comes to Scream 6, he is going to play a very important character. And I think that the connection to Stu's family as well being sort of introduced in the last Scream movie means that we are going to be seeing more of him be brought up. And the whole thing with the final confrontation of Scream 5 taking place in Stu's home means that there is a lot of connections here to what Stu could actually be. Now, another big thing also is one of the recent photos that we got for Scream 6 shows a very old, worn out mask, and many people are theorizing that is Stu's old mask he used in the Scream number 1, of course. And so how does Stu come into play if he apparently is dead, if he apparently can't come back from the dead? Of course, one of the screenwriters, Kevin Williamson for Scream 1, said that Stu is dead. He's been electrocuted, TV, everything fell on him. There's no way he's coming back. And so I think that we could definitely see Stu come back in a way that's through another character, and that's going to be Samara Weaving's character, who we are being introduced to in this new movie. I believe Samara Weaving could be a family member of Stu that we hadn't heard of just yet, and somebody who could definitely continue on his legacy. And I don't think it would be sort of something that gets spilled in the first couple of seconds of the movie or minutes. I think it could definitely be one of those twists that could definitely happen midway or towards the end of it. So I think Samara Weaving's character could definitely be one of those characters that could definitely turn out to be a much darker character than we initially thought. I don't think that the directors here would have just brought her in to be just a little bit of a cameo or anything like that. I do believe that she has a much more important role to play when it comes to the Scream franchise. So I'm definitely excited to see what that role will actually be. Like I said, Vince in Scream 5 being introduced as a family member of Stu, it just wouldn't just be a random character to be introduced for no reason and then we never talk about this character ever again. I think Scream 5 really centered around Billy and also Stu, and I think that we're going to get some payoff to that as well in the next movie. And you know what? I could just be theorizing and I could be setting my expectations high. We always do this with movies, right? We go theorize on what could be happening and everything, and we just saw it happen with the latest Halloween movie, and many people were very much so upset that certain things didn't happen the way they thought it would happen. But I think with Scream, I think they definitely do want to honor these legacy characters a little more. We know Sydney's not going to be in Scream 6, so that means that they are definitely trying to do something different. Now, that's one of the reasons that I couldn't see Stu coming back, because why would he, like, what payoff would Stu have coming back, right? If Sydney's not in the picture, only Gail's the last legacy character, and I feel like if Stu wanted to go after a character, it would definitely have been Sydney, and her not being in this movie makes me think that we possibly wouldn't get some, like, resurrection of Stu of sorts. And that would be funny if Scream actually went in that way and they did a whole resurrection of him. I think that would be hilarious, but I feel like it would go against everything that people like Scream for. But we'll see, anyways. Like I said, I think Stu is coming back in some shape, way, or form, and that form could actually be in the form of a family member like Samara Weaving, who is joining the cast now. Because I think that she would join the cast in a big role, not just something that would just be a one and done it, but we'll see what happens, right? Because we saw other characters come into the franchise that just left after the first one, so I'm interested in that for sure. So, also, other characters that we have in this movie are going to be the twins, and of course, we know with the twins and everything, and the stew house as well. I think there's a little bit more that's going to be calling back to the first two movies. If the first movie in the franchise reboot of Sword Scream 5 took like things from the first Scream movie, I could definitely see Scream 2 take, well, Scream 6 taking a little bit of Scream 2 into it as well. And like I said, a lot of Scream is very much so about family drama and trauma. So that's why I really do think there is a little bit more to Stu's character than we initially think. Now, another thing that people have raised like questions about is Tara and Sam's father coming back into the equation. Now, what I think we could definitely see, like I said, we found out that Sam is connected to Billy. That's her father. And of course, that's a big connection to the Scream 1 movie. Now, could Stu have had a child as well on the side as well that we don't know of? And that very much so could be a possible way that Samara could be also Stu's daughter. I thought about that as well for a point, and I thought to myself, would they really go ahead and do that again in Scream 6? Because we already just saw it in Scream 5, so would it feel redundant to go ahead and do that again and sort of have Samara dealing with the same things that Sam did in Scream 5? And I thought to myself, yeah, that would definitely be something that would feel a little bit too redundant to do. I don't think they could definitely go ahead and do the daughter and the murderous father connection again, because it would just feel like, oh my god, we're doing this again. So that's why I do think that Samara could be a relative, but I don't think it would be like directly connected to Stu in a way. So why would Samara being related to Stu and Stu doing all of these awful things in Scream 1 go ahead and do something awful again in Scream 6? So I think that one of the reasons could definitely be sort of this wanting the attention that Sam is going to probably have after the events of Scream 5. I think that Sam is going to be a character that's going to be filled with a lot of attention that she probably doesn't want. A lot of people realizing who she is the daughter of, and also the murderers that happened as well in this movie will definitely put her in the spotlight, and I think that Sam is going to hate that. And we could definitely have a part in the movie where Samara is somebody who sort of befriends Sam of sorts, but deep down has this jealousy towards everything that Sam is getting. Maybe Sam gets a book deal. Gail being in this movie, we could see some things like that as well, with being reported on and all of that. Although I feel like Gail has changed, but we'll see if she has. And her being the only final legacy character in this movie makes me feel like Gail might not really make it by the end of the movie. So we could see something where Gail could be one of the first ones that goes, but we'll see what happens, right? But I do believe that Samara Weaving's character is a character that's being introduced to have a larger role. I do believe they want to make, I believe, like seven, like the seventh movie as well for this. So we could definitely see her character evolving more and more into a like leader of sorts, into like the Ghostface cult. Now that's a theory I've thrown out before. Could we see a movie where there is a cult of Ghostface followers of sorts? It sort of got teased, I feel, in the Scream 5 movie with the message boards and everything talking about wanting to be like this Ghostface resurrection of sorts. And I could definitely see a movie where they want to sort of dive deep into this whole thing. Like, what if there's this like supporters across like various states or whatever, or international even, that like adore Stu, adore Billy, everything they did, Ghostface fanatics that want to keep the Ghostface tradition alive and continue to do so. I could see somebody like Samara Weaving being at the forefront of that, or sort of using it to her advantage as well. Could we have a movie with a Legion of Ghostface? I think that would be a very interesting take, especially in a big city. You would definitely need a lot of like power to cover the whole city, and the only way I think you could definitely do that is if you have a sort of Legion of Ghostface at your disposal. That's crazy. I know it's crazy to think, right? Like Scream could go in that direction, but I think it's a very good direction to go into, because everything else I feel can be sort of like done already. It's already been happening, like the boyfriend, the mother, the things like that. Like we already have these like quick connections to every killer in the Scream franchise. I think if you make it a larger problem, it makes it a little bit scarier that Ghostface could just be anyone out there that is just trying to wreak havoc for whatever reason it is. So I think the whole thing with having a multitude of Ghostface out there in the city could make sense as well. And I mean, I wouldn't be mad if they don't go that route, but I would definitely be excited with this new possibility of seeing Ghostface be done in a new way that we hadn't seen before. And a cult of Ghostface just sounds very much so insanity, like insanity, and something that I could see definitely working pretty good. Like I said, we're in New York City now. We're going to have Ghostface cover a lot of ground, and I don't think one or two killers is going to be able to cover that much ground in a big city like the Big Apple. So I could definitely see them having a cult of sorts, and Samara Weaving being a part of that cult would make sense as well. I don't know if we could definitely see something where it's just maybe a Stu fanatic cult of sorts that has formed and sort of like is trying to have redemption for Stu against Sam Carpenter, who is Billy Loomis's daughter, of course. And maybe there's just like a whole thing between the groups that falls out, and like it's like a rivalry of sorts. I don't know. I'm just pulling things out as I'm thinking about it and trying to theorize. Let me know, y'all, if y'all have any theories about Scream 6 or what could possibly be happening. Stu being alive is such a hot debate, though, especially. I think this whole thing has been a debate ever since the second movie, for real. And I think after Scream 5 had Matthew Lillard play a little cameo as the flame throwing Ghostface, I think more and more people were like, hey, we want to see him back in the Scream franchise. And I'm excited for Matthew Lillard this year, as he is going to be in the new FNAF movie that is going to be coming out. I like that he's getting roles, and I like that we're going to be seeing him in more horror stuff, because I think he is such a great horror icon. So I'm excited for him to see him in the new FNAF movie, but I wouldn't be mad if they bring him back for Scream. I think he is definitely one of those characters that just plays such an iconic role, and I would love to see what he can bring back to the table in this franchise, if he indeed is able to be brought back to life for whatever reason it may be, or even just bringing his like family members as to the forefront. I would still be okay with that. Characters. So we're just making sure our audio is good on YouTube. We're live on YouTube as well if you want to check us out. Link is in the bio for our YouTube channel. But yeah, like I said, this new poster just asks more and more questions and just has us theorizing. I love the campaign so far for Scream. Like, we've gotten a couple of pictures, we've gotten a couple of posters, set photos, all of that, and we still don't know what the story is going to be about at all. That's the best way, I think, to do it. I do believe we'll get a trailer in the next couple of weeks, closer to the Super Bowl for sure. By the time Knock at the Cabin comes out, which I think is going to be a big one, we should have another trailer or poster. Megan comes out this week, but I don't know if they'll drop a trailer tomorrow. If they drop a trailer, we'll be here discussing it. So make sure you're following us on here or on YouTube, wherever you can, because that would be the best bet to drop a trailer is for Megan this week. But who knows? Megan comes out this week as well, and we're going to be checking that out on Wednesday, and then we'll talk about it Wednesday and Thursday. So make sure you're following us on here, letting you know if Megan is worth the watch or not. But yeah, let me know your thoughts and your theories on Scream 6. Do you think Stu could come back, or do you think that Stu is just like, forget about it? Like I said, I'm curious to see how they want to continue this franchise. I think they're doing one more movie after this for sure for Scream 7 because I think that Radio Silence said it was going to be a trilogy that they were working on. So we have one more movie after this. Do they bring Stu back in time for that? I don't know, but just this poster alone is very much so theorizing it that Stu could definitely be a part of this movie in some shape, way, or form due to everything going on. So let me just fix my pictures right here on YouTube. We're on YouTube as well if y'all want to go follow us if you're watching on TikTok. So we're just fixing our little title right here. Let me know your thoughts and theories on Stu being alive or not, and if you would love to see him come back to the franchise. So we're just going to share our live right now. That's all we're doing right now. Everybody joining, thank you for watching. We are on YouTube, we are on Twitter, all of that. So make sure that you follow us if you can. And we'll be going live tonight as well, probably for another video on our favorite movies of the year. So stay tuned for a lot of that. We got a lot of lives coming. So let me know your thoughts, your theories. Is Stu still alive? And yeah, so we're just sharing this live right now and making sure we're good to go. But yeah, like I said, Samara Weaving's character, a very important character in my opinion. There's no way they don't just introduce a actress that they've worked with and has been amazing in Ready or Not in the new Scream franchise just for like a one-off, I think. I mean, it could be, you know. They say never set your expectations too high, and we always do so. I mean, I do for sure, but I always see it happening. A lot of people always really just set their expectations too high, and then we're just like, what happened right there? We saw that with the new Halloween movie where everybody thought something was going to happen that was totally different, and then they gave us something completely left field, and everybody was just there like, I didn't like this, but I liked Halloween. That I'm just saying it. So yeah, could Stu be alive or not? Like I said, Kevin Williamson, who worked on the first Scream movie, has said that Stu is not alive. How could Stu survive? Apparently that's what they say because of the TV falling, the electrocution, all of that, and just, you know, it just wouldn't make sense, they say. But you know what? They can do different things in movies. They can change things up. And like I said, I don't see Stu coming alive in the movie, like physically, but I think his spirit and sort of his family of sorts and all of that would make sense because they introduced Vince Schneider in the previous film, and there's a reason to introduce a family member of Stu's and then have the final showdown be at Stu's house. Whether it's for just nostalgia or whatever the case may be, there's a reason for it. So we'll see what happens. So let's talk about Megan right now while we take a little break of talking about Stu and all of that, which is coming out this week. Megan really starting off 2023 by giving us a very crazy and new type of feel for a movie. I do hope that we get a new Scream trailer for Megan because I think Megan could be a very big hit depending on how it goes. It's pretty viral online, but that doesn't always mean people are going to come out and see it, right? So that's why I'm very interested in seeing how Megan does and if we do indeed get a trailer for Scream. If you're excited for Scream, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat if you're watching all of that. And what are you most hoping to see for sure? But yeah, like I said, Stu coming back, it could make sense in a way. I could definitely see them doing a whole thing with the family member and all of that. And the fact that this picture exists where there's like an old mask and everything means somebody's digging into the past and somebody's trying to do something or atone for somebody. And I think it could definitely be Stu. Like we saw with Billy in this previous movie, we could see it with Stu again. Although I don't think they should do the whole ghost hallucination thing again because that would definitely be like, what are we doing here, right? So we'll see what happens, but I just want to know everybody's thoughts and opinions. Like I said, we are still trying to fund our Indiegogo. Link is in the bio for that. We are making our own horror slasher film. It's in the chat as well on YouTube if you're watching. And we are still trying to get that funded. So I really would appreciate that. We have some more theories, some more videos coming out. Like I said, if we're getting a new Scream trailer, it would probably be tomorrow. So it comes out in time with Megan this weekend. So I hope we do. Fingers crossed because I do need to see some more of this movie, see where we're going and all of that. We have a ton more lives planned for this week, a ton more coming this whole year. It's something we're working on now, is doing more lives, going to do more things to interact with everybody. So we're really excited to introduce all of these new things to the channel, and we'll be having a video tomorrow talking more about what exactly that's going to look like for the channel and schedules and all of that. So very excited for what's coming. But yeah, like I said, follow us on TikTok, follow us on Twitter, Culture Elixir over there, as well as here. We do have our Twitch we're currently working on as well, where we're going to be doing some more gaming and all of that. We are currently doing gaming as well here. We're playing The Last of Us, getting ready for The Last of Us show, which we're going to be covering week by week. But yeah, super excited to talk horror with all of you. Super excited to just discuss these ideas. Let me know what you think about STU returning, and if you would be down to see that or not. Like I said, if he returns in a physical form, I'm there. I don't care however they explain it, but I very much so see it him returning in sort of more of a spirit form, and sort of like somebody else trying to carry out his legacy for whatever reason that may be. So we'll see what happens. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. As always, that is going to do it for me. Make sure you are following me wherever you're watching, whether it was on YouTube or on TikTok. Really would appreciate you. And as always, I'll see all of you next time. Stay safe, stay positive, my friends. So we're just getting off of YouTube, and anybody who joined us here,